And good morning, and that is a very special bugle this morning because today is not just any day. Today, June 28th, 1960, the world was forever changed when this young man was brought into the world. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Always a fun day. I have never been like the gift guy. I just don't like receiving. I like the feeling better giving, but the adulation that I've already gotten this morning from like 4 o'clock on, people I haven't seen or spoken to in a long time, just saying, "Hey, always thinking about you. Happy birthday." It's a really, really special day, and I'm grateful for.
What was the earliest text you got? Was there an early, like the earliest of the texts?
I think, to be candid, at 2 o'clock,
nice.
Posted a video on Facebook, and I got the alert. I had forgot to turn off my shit, so it's like, oh. And I said it was her, and I liked it, but I didn't communicate with her. So.
Is Helen getting up at 2 a.m. and beating you up, or is she still awake at 2 a.m.?
She's like going to bed.
Probably still awake.
She's had already gone to bed, woken up, did her thing, went back to bed. Is Jake joining us this morning?
Oh, so that's a little bit unfair. So we do have a surprise here this morning. Good morning, Jake. No, I love it. And he saw the uniform, right? Everybody's rocking the Huddle shirt today, except for you, Shay. You didn't get the memo.
Sorry, I missed the text.
Memo? So we have a great show. We're going to do a little bit of a surprise in the beginning part of the show, and we're going to make it all about Steve Nudelberg, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite things about our father to start the birthday day. But first, let's put us some wake-up music, and we're going to come back and celebrate.
I thought about not showing up for this, so you better be nice.
Let's go.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Wake up! Come on! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in there. No more about to thinking, time of thinking ahead. Come on now.
So Chris White says it very great. He says, "You are a gift to LinkedIn and all of us, kind sir," which I would have to agree with. You are a gift. And on this conversation of gifts, you're the guy who you can't get anything for ever. Impossible. Because the man buys himself anything that he wants all the time. So like, there's no way to there's no list. Like, oh, you know what? I really want that thing. Whatever he decides he wants, he gets. So like gifts in our family have to be like thoughtful. Like it's like pictures, or Helen, who falls right into line with our family so quick, does a great job of doing a video as a gift for my dad. Let's show Helen's birthday video.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we become one right away. Oh, right away. At first sight, I felt the energy of sun rays. I saw the life inside.
Well done. And you, sir, are a blessed individual. And so I don't know who started this. I don't know if it was Jay Leno or it was David Letterman with the top 10. We're going to steal a little bit of his idea, and we're going to go, Jake and I, our own top 5s of Steve Nudelberg, and we're going to start with top 5 quotes. So, Jake, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here this morning.
Good to be back. Of course, I don't know. I live with him, so I try to do my best to surprise him. So I walked around all morning like I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
I didn't have my computer ready. I had nothing. So I'm gonna kick it off with the one saying that I think he uses every time we go to eat somewhere, and it's the number one that pops in my mind. And he asks every waitress or waiter, do they have the winning lottery numbers? They go, can I get you anything? And he goes, do you have the winning lottery numbers?
Lottery numbers.
like without fail, it's the number one thing.
That's fantastic. So I love the fact that you and I did not coordinate, because I didn't know what quotes you were going to pull. Obviously, you didn't know what quotes I was going to pull. That's a really, really good one. I'm going to go with, and I've got a list of 5 here, similar to like when anybody ever says like, oh, I hope that happens, his auto response to that person is, hope is not a strategy. Immediately. So, but I love that about him because, and for me, the quotes, I think you really truly embody them. You never hoped for anything, right? Anytime there was a shift in our lives, or there was a shift in your life, or like, and I talked about the iterations of On the Ball and what kind of company it's been throughout the years. It was never like, gee, I hope. You know, it was always back to the drawing board, put together a strategy, and then go try to execute that strategy. So hope as a strategy was my number 1, Jake.
And just to comment on that.
Yeah, I love it.
Hope without action is a dream. There's a lot of people who are dreamers. There's a lot of people in our profession that sell dreams. I don't want to sell dreams. I want to know that I'm doing the things that are going to get me to what I am really hoping for. So, comes off as a little snotty, but and what do you mean? Yes, you can hope. Yes, there's luck. Yeah, there is. But the reality is nothing happens until you go to
not
work.
A strategy. Hope is not a strategy. And if you have the winning lottery numbers, he will 1000% take them as soon as you get them. Jake, what do you got?
I can always stay on the funny side of things, I think, because I always like to be that in the family. He has an ability of always saying the wrong thing in the middle of a football game or any sporting event where he's like, oh, it's in the bag.
It's over. It's over. It's over. This is good.
We're in the second quarter. It's over. Do they look like they're going to win?
I'm dying. To be fair, I think that comes from being a lifelong Jet fan, right? And like just the game being over before it ever really started, right? So
beautiful training. It's beautiful training.
I love that. That's a really good one. So I'm going to go with my next one. And I like this because you're going funny, and I think I'm going a little bit more serious. But my next one is, it is what it is, right? It doesn't matter. Like anytime anything negative has ever happened in our life, he would just look at us and it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And that line and that quote is just like engraved in my brain.
So yes, Bob Goldfarb will tell you that is stitched in a lot of my blazers. It comes from people who make excuses.
Right.
And it just became so obvious when they're sitting there spending all this time giving me this wild excuse, when I would say to myself, if you put that amount of effort into doing the job,
right,
you didn't have to, and you and I talked about this a lot. I just shared this with somebody. They go, what's the origin of the huddle? I said, Mark and I used to talk at 7 or 7:15 every morning before you went to practice. You'd throw shit at me, whatever. If you get to the tip of the goal line, it's not a touchdown.
Right.
There's another one. It's
what?
So there's another saying.
Another quote.
It's just not a touchdown. You can jump up and down. You can bleed, cry.
I'm thankful
not
for
a
that
touchdown.
one.
What do you want me to tell you?
I'm thankful for that one though, because I am wired that way too, from the upbringing with you, and from my sports background. You just, whatever the situation is, deal with the reality of it. It is what it is, and deal with it and move on. So I'm thankful for that.
And that directly derives from, or my saying derives from that, which is the curveball one. Obviously,
Is that where you're going with next?
Well, we've just piggybacking on it, because I know you have a nice list, and we're teaching lessons while also honoring him, which I think is important. But we've always kind of been through the ups and downs together, and we always kind of just shrug it off. And tomorrow the sun will rise, and we'll continue to move on. And it's kind of impressive that you guys have held on to that.
My third favorite quote coming from Steve Nudelberg is, "Do what you love and the money will follow." And I think that as a lesson for me, looking back on my childhood, is you never complained about working one time in your life. Not to me anyway. And I never saw you get up dreading to go to work. I never saw you, shit, I got to go do this thing. Like, it was always, you were up and ready to get after it and go attack the day. And that quote embodied the behavior that I saw, which then gave me the confidence to say, okay, I'm really passionate about this coaching thing. Maybe I should go do that. And, for what could have been a really hard decision, go home and work in the family business, or go off and do this thing that I have absolutely no pathway to see, that behavior and that quote, I think, pushed me to go do that.
For me, all of the years that I've been able to do this and work with people, I would walk up to them and say, if you hate this, you have a choice. Go do something else.
Right.
Don't do this, because that's how you get sick, and that's how life passes you by. You hear less people talking about regret and all the things that when people die, I wish I would have, stop. And I did. I pulled the cord to get into the phone business when everybody looked at me like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm doing what I know is right for me. And I'm thrilled that I did it. But I think people are afraid to follow their gut. And so that's why I say, if you love it, you have so much passion that it's not work. And I hear that's not rhetoric. That is actual stuff. I had so much fun yesterday speaking to those people at Hard Rock. Yeah. It was amazing. 100 HR people, and they broke the myth for me that HR people couldn't have fun. It was great. So,
Jake, do you have?
What was that? You just.
No, we did not just get hijacked. No, the show did not just get hijacked.
We are taking over your channel right now.
That is actually the HR people at your speech yesterday having.
I get there early, as I always do. You can make it anything you want. It's the first time these people have been together in a long time. They're from all the Hard Rock properties around the country, around the world. They're opening in Canada now. They hired this group called Drum Cafe, and the guy gives drums to everybody and does exercises that basically lit the room up. I had so much fun hanging and doing with them that I said something to the leader there. I said, this is so innovative and so fresh because people broke out of their mold. Those people dancing in the front there are HR people that were getting after it.
Shay, I think we have feedback.
Yeah.
Jake, do you have another quote?
So it's his quote, I guess. It's everybody's quote, but really celebrate the wins for him. I think it's been a kind of mantra of our life. And I'm going to share a story here, Dad, and I hope you're okay with it. But he was speaking on Friday, and he was emotionally overwhelmed by the reception of the people and how he's kind of built this speaking life and this coaching life and this life of helping other people now. And he really celebrated it emotionally with me. He was like, this is important to me. It makes me feel good. I want to feel this. And so it was really cool to see that live in the flesh, to know that he's so invested in the people that he's helping. He celebrates it with them and their successes and our successes. So that's one that always, stands out to me.
That's a great one. I'm going to go with my next one. My fourth one is act as if. And there's a lot of ways that this has shown up in our lives. And I appreciate the way it allowed me to act as if I was in a role before I got there in my coaching career, and has always allowed me to elevate myself out of the position I'm in. But most like memorable act as if is when we would go to like Heat games and we would just start beelining it towards the floor, and he'd be like, just don't stop. Just don't stop. We're going to go get on the floor. We don't have passes. Don't worry about it. Just don't stop. Act as if you belong there, and we'll get on and we'll be fine. And sure enough, we would just blaze right by, and the people wouldn't say a word to us. And
would wave at us, man.
Right? Hey, how you doing?
True story. We are in New York. We're there for some weekend to see a baseball game or something. We walk to have dinner. I forget where we had dinner, but it was in one of the big buildings. And in the building, in the main lobby, they're having an Orange is the New Black party. But the entire cast, full security, like a big party. He's like, I gotta say hello. Waits for the security guard to like turn his back, and boom, walks right in. We go to follow him, and the security guard looks at us. It's like, not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance. I'm like, so he's walking around. They kind of see him. They're like, well, he's in now, and he's talking to all the cast members. All the cast members are talking to. It's an entire, story.
So that lack of fear, that lack of I don't know. There was just no kind of limit to the access, right? It was, if that was a place we wanted to be, we're going to figure out a way to be there. And once you were in, act as if you belong there. Act as if, find somebody that get into a conversation. Like as soon as you were there and you belonged, nobody was going to walk up to you and be like, excuse me, sir, can I see your ticket? Like it was it. You were in and it was on.
And Mark, and I'm sure, and yeah. I'm sure you remember the first time you did that by yourself without him.
Oh, 1,000%.
Oh, and it was like, and the friends are like, what are you doing? It's like, yo, shut up.
Yeah. With a group of my friends being like, come on, we're just going. Come on.
So listen, I mean, the stories are endless like that, but it is all built-in confidence.
Yes.
Dan Levitard does the show with Stu Gatz.
Yeah.
Stu Gatz, before he was on that show, worked with Hank Goldberg. Yeah. He sees me at the Super Bowl in Tampa, and he says, dude, I don't have a ticket. Can you get me in? I go, dude, a ticket the day of the show, man. You're like out of your mind. I go, follow me. Boom.
Walk right into the
Super Bowl. You can ask him. We just ran into him recently at a restaurant in Boca. You know what? Now it's a different time now.
Sure.
Or whatever. But back then, I got him in, and in our suite was Queen Latifah, Alonzo Mourning. It was like,
getting into event might be harder now, but then I think walking onto the club level or getting into places, walking down onto the floor of the game, like I think those moments and getting into those places, and then the things that happened after that. Like I remember being in a suite with like Hootie and the Blowfish and Tiger Woods, and like we were like in the suite. We knew like one person in there, but we were in there. We were hanging out. I'm getting chicken fingers.
Well, you laugh, but the movie Wedding Crashers,
right?
For me, when I watched Wedding Crashers, I said that's how I live my life. I can just go and act like I'm supposed to be there. I think the problem is, and people say to me, "Well, I got to go talk to my manager." Act like the manager. Nobody's walking around going, I'm the manager. I'm the manager. Act like the manager. What would the manager do? That's how I grew my presence everywhere, was not. And I think the same is true for people who say, oh my God, you go to New York all the time. It's so dangerous. Or Chicago, the crime rate is so bad. If you look like you could get taken advantage of, you get taken. People walk around going, oh my God, it's very scary here. You get somebody walking around going, my shit doesn't stink, so.
That is exactly correct. And I think that mentality just bled into so many things for me in my life. But my last quote, my top five quote, and I can like hear you say it. I'm going to imitate you say this. And it's, just do the work. Just do the work, right? Because I think anytime I've ever had anxiety about doing something, I think anytime I've ever like had fear about doing something, that grounding quote of just do the work echoes in my brain forever. And it's, I wrote about it in my book. It's a chapter in my book.
That was my last quote, by the way.
Yeah.
I wrote it in my book.
Which I'm going to steal that one from him. But that just do the work, I think, is something that people get away from all the time. It is a pillar of my own success in my life. I obviously stole it from you, and I can just hear it so clearly in your words. And I hope that I will carry that forever, is just do the work.
So first of all, this is an incredibly humbling day for me. It's an incredible show for me, but I want you to try for a minute to sit in my seat and know that at 62 years old, there are people reaching out to me saying, you are a gift, you are a blessing. I mean, it is far beyond anything I could ever imagine. And I'm deep into this study between the word money and the word wealth. There's a lot of people who have money. There's not a lot of people who have wealth. I have wealth. I have wealth that I get, to see you guys grow up to be the humans you are. I had a hand in that. It was my work, good or bad. You guys are who you are. My friends, my gal, everything about my life, I have perfectly manicured to get what I want out of life. And I'm just so grateful. Wow.
Great pictures. So I think it's a great way to end the show. Great quotes. Thank you for all that you do. We are glad to have you at 62. I said it in my post. I think the ultimate mark of anything great is that it continues to get better with time, whether it be music, movies, all the things we talk about, people. If you get better with time, then it is something great. And you, sir, are definitely something great. So happy birthday to you. Have a great day. We love you. Happy birthday to the Huddle. Let's go to work. Let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this.